These are some videos you can click and watch if you want a quick refresher on rounding. I'm going to walk you through starting with the warm-up. So I put the warm-up on another sheet that we're going to work on so I can edit it. So the warm-up is having us round each number to the nearest 10. So the example shown here shows the number 135, and they found the nearest 10, which was 130 and 140. They placed 135 smack dab in the middle, and we know that if we're rounding to the nearest 10 and our digit ends in 5, it rounds to the warmer island. We talked about islands when we did this. So right now we're going to do the rounding to the nearest 10 for our next number. So, I'm going to draw a number line, and I need to figure out where 122 falls. And because I'm rounding to the nearest 10, I'm going to look at the tens place. So in this number, 122, I know there are two tens. So my closest 100 here is going to be, one island endpoint is going to be 120. Now I know I need to figure out what is 10 more than that so I can get some endpoints. So what's 10 more than 120? So I can skip count, and I'm going to start at 100. I'm going to count up by tens. So 100, 110, 120, then 130. Very good, 130. So I'm going to plot that right here. So now I know that I need to place 122. Sorry, I kind of wrote on it by accident, but 122. So I know that 122 is going to be around this point. Because if I count at 120 and I count up 120, 121, 122. So boys and girls, what island 120 or 130, what spot is that closer to? And if you said 120, you are correct. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's right here, 122. It's only 2 jumps away from 120, so it's closer to 120. Okay, for the next one, the number is 257. I know I'm rounding to the nearest 10, so I'm looking at the tens place. There are 5 tens in 257. So I am going to, again, draw my number line so I can place this down. And I know that one of my tens is going to be 250. Okay, now I am going to think about skip counting my tens up to figure out what is the next 10. So I know that 250 is a benchmark number. So one more 10 would be 260. Now, again, I'm going to split my number line and try to figure out where 257 is. I'm going to look up here, and I see that 135 is right in the middle. And I know that halfway between 250 and 260 is 255. So now if I need to figure out where is 257, I'm going to count up. So 251, 252, 253, 254, 255, 256, 257, which should be right around here. That is 257. So now, what 10 is this number 257 closer to? Is it closer to 250 or 260? So I want you to circle that. So let's see, this is 7 away. We counted 7 to get here. This is 7, and this is 3. So it is closer to 260. Awesome. So we just practiced and warmed up, and we did our rounding to the nearest 10. Now let's round to the nearest 100. So in our example, the number they were working with was 135. They placed that right here. And I'm going to draw the number lines with you as a scaffold, and I want you on your paper to go through and figure out what 100 is each number closer to. I'm going to write the hundreds for you. And on your paper or on your worksheet that you're doing online, I want you to circle the number the 100 that 122 is closer to. So I want you to plot that. Where would 122 go on this line? I'll give you a second to think. And if you're stuck, this is a good time to count by tens up because we know we need to figure out where it is. So we know halfway between is 150 from our number line above. So if you place 125 right here, then you are correct. It should be right around here. You can also use your number line over here to help you because this is probably 120, so we know it's somewhere around this area. And the island it is closer to is 100. Okay, I'm going to give you the scaffold and I'm going to plot the endpoints of your number line. And I want you on your paper to do the next one by yourself. I want you to figure out where does what 100 is 257 closer to? Is it closer to 200 or is it closer to 300? And on your paper, I want you to do that by yourself or on your Google Classroom work. I want you to plot it and do it by yourself. But this video is to help you and review if you needed help with this. And you got it.